Episode 90.
Wait, you went Europe and then you went what, Gary?
I said episode 90.
Episode 90. Just 10 more until we're centurions.
Yeah.
Well, we could be in the blue zone of podcasts.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's the goal. The blue zone of podcast.
When you brought up the blue zones earlier on the run, Aaron, I told if you stayed there long enough, I was gonna go down like this nerdy. Like I'm so like into like that concept of like the blue zones, and there's only like 7 or 8 of them on the planet and all that stuff. I think that's really interesting though, because it's not just food; it's like everything.
Yeah. I forgot the guy's name that was on the podcast I was listening to, but
he's the one that wrote. He's got a documentary or something like about blue zones and stuff like that. Yeah. And there's one like I think he helped with the cookbook
too, right?
Yeah. That's him. That's him. But it's super interesting though, like because it involves like most of those societies never retire. They have purpose in life. Like it's a bunch of stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah,
really cool. So if you're not hip to blue zones, go check it out because it actually is very informative and some cool information there.
And he got very anti-Western. Elevator at work.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Even though I only work one level up, so it's not like I'm taking a bunch of stairs. But
bro, if you want to know what jogging slowly at elevation feels like, just go up a flight of steps. Like that feeling of windedness, huh?
I get more tired on steps than anything, like any run I'm ever on.
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly that's what I'm saying. One flight of steps. That's what it feels like when you be jogging at super recovery pace, and you're just like, yo, did I just hit a pair of steps or a flight of steps?
I'll be honest. Like looking at people on the Stairmaster at like the gym, I don't know how
so much respect. So much respect. So much, like especially when they start doing like the kickback. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you putting some jazz on that thing.
Yeah. I'm tired watching them. Like I'm on the treadmill, and I'm just like, man, I am exhausted watching you do that.
Right. If I'm on the treadmill going like my moderate pace, I'd much rather crank it up a mile per hour than get on the stair climber for
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Y'all want to know something?
Yes.
I've never been on a stair climber in my life.
No,
I've been on it, but like it wasn't like oh man, I should do that again.
Yeah.
I
mean, everything I've read about it and heard about it is it's a great way to like for cardio and to burn off calories. It's big in the weight loss. For weight loss exercises.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you burn a lot of calories, I guess.
Yeah. But
no, I like that. Yeah, I like that it calculates like how you can go past somebody. I guess it's the same thing as a treadmill. You can walk past somebody and see how many flights of stairs they've gone up.
Just counting flights, crazy.
Yeah, when you see somebody like on like 60, like yo, you crazy.
You almost.
It's like.
With that
what do you
being
do when you
said,
get to the top? Do you jump down?
With that being said, I wouldn't say no to like racing up the Empire State Building stairs.
You're ridiculous. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. I would do it if I had the opportunity.
You wouldn't.
If I had the opportunity
to do what, Garrett?
They have like a race, or they have a race up the stairs, or something like that, up the Empire State Building steps.
Oh, is that real? Is that
yeah?
It's real.
I think I'd rather do that thing that you guys are talking about, like there's a race around one city block in New York for like how many ever days, then do a race up the Empire State Building.
I think I'm fine with the marathon.
Yeah, you know what?
That's fine.
We're not changing anything. We're just doing the marathon. What's up, everybody? PR Project.
Yeah, you guys are within weeks from your marathon. Here's me going, let's do a stair race.
I mean, the answer is no, regardless whether I was doing a marathon next week or not. But what's up, everybody? PR Project here. Me, Tommy Runs, Gary in the middle here. And we got Aaron Barnett. Damn. Wait, government. My bad. That was crazy.
What's up, chat?
We got Allison Staples in the house. Thank you for the shoes. It was a controversy a little bit to get them shoes to you, Allison. So I need you to say thank you a little more like Thank you. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you to the one person advocating on your behalf. Actually,
I don't know who that was. Gary, I think, right?
I think we're all big fans. We made sure unanimously to help her out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Congratulations on winning those shoes. You are the last winner, and as we work through some of the last few items, we will make sure that we let you guys know of any updates we have when it comes to like the wrap up of the PR project Summer Speed. Yeah. And yeah, so we got some cool Tahoe.
I'm burying the lead here.
What?
Today's the first day of fall. So the summer.
Today's the first day of fall?
Literally.
Over. Yeah.
Today's the first day of fall?
First day of fall.
First day of autumn.
Oh man. That doesn't feel like a celebration.
I don't know. I do.
I love it. Fall is life.
I mean, today's I don't know about everybody else here.
Ball is life.
Today's run felt pretty good. Overcast skies, no rain.
That's true.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Okay. But I guess it's just because in Michigan, I just don't know how long fall will last. That's the problem.
Sometimes 20 minutes, sometimes 2 years. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the vibe. All right. So we got some topics today. We got a lot to talk about. So we might as well just jump into this. So I'm gonna give you guys the choices. If you got quick fingers in the chat, let us know. We could talk about Boston standards, the BQ standards changing. We could talk about my trip to Boulder. We got race travel tips, and then we got Berlin 7 days out. And we also have some cool Runners Anonymous questions. What do you two think we should jump into, like start off with? Because we can start anywhere.
Let's start here. Hold on. Wait. Let's start here first. Give me 1 second.
What we got?
Bam. Ooh, heat. If you are jogging along the road, listening to this or driving and listening to this podcast on the podcast platform of your choice, Aaron is showing a post that Joe Robinson and I collaborated on. We did a photo shoot in Joe Robinson's hood of birth or raised. He was raised in this hood. No, but we shot over near where Joe grew up. So it was really cool to have him kind of show me a few different things, places that he remembers and gas stations and stuff that he used to be at. But we did a shoot with a really nice old school car. We had a whole theme behind it, like the Kenyan training camps when there's like the van riding with you, to pass the bottles off and all that stuff. And this shoot came off perfectly. And we just dropped the announcement, or it's not even an announcement. Everybody knew he was going to Berlin, but we wanted to make sure people knew that we was going as a friend unit. And yeah, it went really well. That car was nice.
Yeah, it's really cool, man. I really
the pictures turned out well.
The creativity of it and just the overall like culture, like bringing something a little different to what we normally see from run culture. So bravo to both of y'all. Y'all really did y'all thing with this one.
Yeah, no, I think that was sweet. And I don't even know if we did the one person I had on dark clothes, Joe had on all white. I don't know if we did that on purpose, but I think it worked out really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Mark Vanderkoy says models. I mean, hey, look, if you a brand watching this and we're for hire. We're all for hire here. Yeah, but honestly, it was really cool though, because it was kind of like, Joe. If you know Joe or not, Joe, he's normally a really quiet guy. He doesn't talk a lot, but sometimes you can crack the code and maybe he'll share a few words, But he was super excited to show different spots and stuff like that, and it was really cool to like see he's like, bro, man, I was over here every day after school, and that was just a nice vibe. I'm from kind of nowhere, so I can't do that for you guys. So unfortunately, when we get to Berlin, I'm gonna be like, Joe, this is where I was born. right here. But yeah, that was dope. So Berlin is 7 days out, and I think that's a good way. And I'm feeling pretty decent. Everybody kind of knows I went through a few different little things in this block. I'm feeling super mentally prepped for this. And I think like I'm hoping that means a lot more than I ever assumed it meant or paid attention to it. So it's like people say like, are you ready? I'm mentally ready. I'm just hoping that with this little quick taper stuff lines up in some spots where I'm feeling a little tightness and pain. Hopefully those things go away, but I'm ready to send it. And the cool part is Joe is too. So we're gonna see what happens.
That's really all you can do. The work has been done. And there isn't much you could do between now and race day to change the outcome of what's going to happen in a positive way. But there are things you can do that can hinder your performance in Berlin. So this 7 days is really about staying away from all things detrimental to your health and your body. So I hear COVID is going around the school. So maybe your kids raise themselves for the next 7 days, or you ship them off somewhere.
Yeah,
well,
was that? Is it Meb? Was it Meb? Who?
He went and lived with his friend for like 2 months before the Olympics. Yeah,
that's a little over, but I get it. I understand.
Well, no, I mean, So I think I'm clear on that side of things. I'm gonna be taking all types of vitamin C and stuff like that just to keep whatever immunity levels as high as possible. Get some rest.
I think before you get to the airport, inject a little bleach.
I heard that works well. I heard that on the television.
Right, light on yourself. You got to do all of it.
Like it's like UV, right? Like if you take a UV. Yeah. So I'm gonna do all those things. I may even wear a mask on the plane, which I don't want to do.
Yeah.
Take your sleep tape and just use that.
Take
over my mouth and nose. Yeah, I don't know if I'll make it to Berlin.
You might transcend.
Right. He's spiritually ready. But yeah, so I'm gonna do all those things, and then we might as well jump straight into the race travel tips.
Hold on.
So
I'm gonna take this opportunity to
show Aaron Chicago Flyer. Yeah. Okay, yeah, Joe's right.
Yeah, I gotta do that
because I mean honestly, if we gonna be here, I'm saying that our friend group does things just mildly differently than some other people sometimes.
Yeah, I still haven't found me in this yet.
What'd you say?
I still haven't found me in this yet.
Oh, the differences?
No, never mind.
Yeah.
Aaron accidentally tagged me in it, and I'm like blowing it up. I took a screenshot.
Oh, you're right there.
I can see it now.
Yeah. You're Hey, what if you zoomed into the bottom of the Alpha Flies and Gary's face was like in the little like a rock stuck in the bottom of the rock gets
stuck? Yeah.
Yeah. No, but so yeah, Aaron dropped this, and it's like I think we talked about it last week too. Like if you you can swipe to the can you do it? Yeah, so there's 2 different pictures, and you go in the comments, and it's like one of those kids games back in the day where it's like find the things, the differences in one picture to the other. So that's really cool. So not only was the image insane, it was just a cool concept of like creating some engagement and doing something different on top. You did something different on top of something different.
Right. Trying to do my thing, man. Yeah, exactly. Gary was in the chopper for sure.
Gary, get in the chopper.
Hey, shout out to Steve. We saw Steve out on a course at the Growler today. So
dope.
Nice. Went well, sir.
Yeah, how was that? Was the weather cooperated? Was it hot?
It was a little warm at the start, but they got a little drizzle, a little rain, and then right as everyone was finishing, it picked up pretty quick. So they avoided the worst of it, and they didn't get hit with like super heat or crazy rain or anything. So I think it was probably better than any growler weather I've experienced since I learned about the race. So not too bad.
That's good. Gary, do you got the IG up? The PR Project IG?
Ours, I can pull it up.
Yeah, because you have so we posted online if you had any tips or questions regarding race weekend travel. Because a lot of the ring the bell, Steve McCullough, 10-mile PB.
Woo-hoo!
Congratulations on that. So race travel tips, like obviously we got Berlin coming up, Chicago, New York. There's like Valencia. It's fall marathon season, so it's like there's hundreds of marathons going on between now and like December. So if you have any questions or tips right now, let us know what your thoughts are, like things that you do to make sure that you're ready, to make sure that you're acclimated with the time, blah blah. Gary, did you see any things?
We did not get any questions, but let me start off with this.
Yeah, we did.
Maybe not in the PR Project one.
Yeah, you gotta swipe up.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
Bro didn't know how to work it.
No, I had mine on.
Hey, hold on. Hey, Gary, every time he posts questions, he's like, no one ever engages with me. He got like 50 questions. He just don't know how to find them. That's crazy.
I had on the wrong one. I had the one where it's like the overview, like all the.
All right, it's fine, Gary. It's fine.
We're good.
It's fine. All right, so tell us what we got in there.
This is a piece of advice. Set your watch to a new time zone.
Who said
NHD _runs 97.
Okay, cool.
So Nathaniel Harold Dimitri.
No, I think he's from Australia.
All right, I'll look it up in a second. But he said, set your watch to a new time zone as soon as you board your flight to a race destination. So it's like even before you get there, just adjust your watch ahead of time.
I can see it. Like I probably wouldn't change. I probably wouldn't change my watch because my watch, when I get there, hits GPS and does it anyway. But I definitely, as soon as I'm that day, I already know what the day of the flight. I already know what time it is where I'm going. And then
maybe he's thinking like one of those old school like analog watches where you gotta
that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say it's quite impressive that he thinks I know how to change what time zone my
watch. Yeah, like, bro, what do you mean? How many? But yeah,
whatever time zone I'm in, that's what it's on, brother.
Right there. And if it catches some type of satellite over the Indian Ocean, it's going to that, But like, but yeah, so yeah, as soon as that day or the day before, I'm kind of like starting to get really aware of like what time is it, where I'm going, and then like since I'm doing the Berlin flight, most of all the Berlin flights are overnight, so I'm gonna try my best to like act like I'm already there, so you kind of get a jump on the time change and try to sleep as much as possible if I'm supposed to be asleep, and if I'm supposed to be up, so that you kind of roll into it well. You don't want to sleep until 11 a.m. if you're going somewhere. You want to kind of Aaron would be straight. Aaron's like, yeah, I'm fine with this. But yeah, just try to get yourself ready and be very aware of like what time zone it is where you're going, especially if you're going overseas, because that could be tough.
Yeah, I mean, like you're leaving like a little bit extra early this time, right?
Yeah. So last time I left Wednesday and got there Thursday, and I just feel like I wish I had like one more day.
Yeah.
And so this time I'm leaving Tuesday and getting there Wednesday. So it's literally one more day.
Yeah. But I think because you're going for a really strong goal, those are like the little micro things to do to set yourself up for success.
100%.
Gains. Yo, Maurice, I saw this too. Some of the newer garments have a jet lag advisor. That's really cool. I thought that was really interesting. It'll tell you like recovery needed or something like that. Because if you travel and I guess some algorithm figures out what your jet lag might look like, and I'm like, man, that's pretty cool. That's like the kind of stuff that'll like win me over when I'm looking for a new piece of tech. Is something that something functional and usable like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, here we are. This is NHD Runs, so it's not Nathaniel.
That's
Oh,
cool.
yeah, I couldn't fit in messages, but what Tom said is what I meant. You want to force yourself to adjust to new time zone early on, so it becomes quicker process adjusting. Yeah, because you don't want to just land there like, oh my god, I don't know what time it is. Like you want to be very aware. Because you think you could just like, oh, I'll be tired, but it's not about going to sleep on that first night. It's about like staying asleep through the
Right.
night. So
Yeah.
take like if you take melatonin, if you take any like sleep aids, make sure that they're there with you, because like you're gonna need them those first couple nights to like really stay like kind of knocked out. Like if you don't do like the eye mask, the eye covers or whatever, that could help too, just to keep you in like that state of like, we don't need to wake up right now, because it can be tough. All right. Cool. So what's the next one on that one, Gary? I think it's a question, right?
Well, yeah, it's run Juneteenth has asked the best NYC spots to carb load, and I just gotta say, there is no shortage of Italian and noodle restaurants in the city. I couldn't
Pizza.
name just one, or pizza too, but like traditionally noodles and pasta. I think you can just pretty much throw a rock anywhere and find a place. I can't think of any particular one off the top of my head, but I think when we were there, we found a noodle spot like a block away from the hotel one night. Carmine's, I guess, is a popular Italian restaurant in the city, but I think there's just a ton of options there. Just more than you'll probably ever need for sure. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Do you guys have any ideas?
One thing about me is when I'm not with y'all, because y'all like to go sit down at a restaurant. But if I'm out of town for a marathon the night before, I'm on Uber Eats or DoorDash, and I'm getting something delivered, and whatever is on there.
I promise you were born in the wrong. I promise you were born in the wrong generation.
Actually, though, I think that's the way to go. I've heard a few people say, especially the night before a marathon, don't go out, grab some bagels.
Oh yeah.
And just sit in your room and chill out, and that's your dinner for the night. And keep your feet up and rest.
Yeah.
What does that mean, Tommy? What do you mean by that, Tommy?
He's like, Aaron was like, Gary, shut up so I can figure out what he meant. No, I'm just saying, like, I feel like you got a lot of like Gen. Like, I don't even know what generation it is. Like you like very Gen Z. Like you like TikTok, and you like I Uber Eats, DoorDash, real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like you got a very.
I don't ever use DoorDash or Uber Eats when I'm like at home. I only use it when I'm like. I use it, but I pick my own food up because I'm not about to have nobody drive on the same streets that I can drive.
I'm asking you, is it a charge if you order through like Uber Eats, but you pick up? Is it a charge still, or is it just a
There's not
service?
a charge, but usually the prices of the stuff is higher on the apps than they are like if you order it in the store. So okay.
Because I was like on my way to a store today, and I was like, oh, I could order it. And I had Uber Eats open, and I'm like, dang, they probably about to get me for like $5 for no reason. So I just waited.
Yeah.
But I ain't know.
But like I don't like talking to people on the phone. So I'm gonna just put that order in. You feel me? And it is what it is.
Yeah.
I made my son do an order on the phone one day. He was not having it.
No, I get it.
He was not having it.
I was talking to somebody about pizza restaurants, and if they don't have an app, I ain't ordering from them.
I'm not calling and speaking to a human. I do not want to do that.
So like my favorite cuisine is Indian food, and I have this one place I always order. And well, for number one, if you call it Indian place and they're nice to you and like whatever, it's not good food. So the more like straight to the point they are, the better the food is gonna be. So like I've been ordering from this place for maybe 3-4 years now, and I order the same thing every single time. So as soon as he answers, I say like I start saying it, and he just finishes the sentence. And I'm like, yep. And he's like 20 minutes. And then he hangs up. I'm like, so great. It's so good. I got to take you guys one day. Like,
no, I know on the surface it sounds rude, but that is excellent customer service. Mm-hmm. I know you are. I know what you want.
we don't need to do all this. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
What
No.
do I got to act like I don't know who you are? You know what I'm saying?
I
Let's
was
just
like
move on.
Megan when Megan and I were living in New York. We used to order from the bodega down like literally at the end of the street. Beer and wine. So at one point the guy was like, "Oh yeah, apartment number 7, 6 beers coming right up."
Yeah. Hey man, that's the life right there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can make it so like your whole life is like Cheers and everybody knows your name and everybody knows what you want, like that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All
For
right,
sure.
sorry. So we digress. But ramen's a good option.
Yeah.
Pretty much wherever you go. If you can find a ramen spot, that's a decent way to go. It's always most ramen spots are always gonna be busy though. That's one thing I noticed.
Are you popular? Yeah.
Yeah. And what else we got? Oh, also, I'm not like a room snob, but if you have if you can find the night before a race, if you can kind of test it out to see what like the restaurant is like in your hotel, if they have one, it may cost more, but to get room service like the night before in your room, I mean, if I'm just saying, like, as long as it's not crazy, because when I did it in London, because it was just like for me as a vegan, I knew like it was just gonna be I would have to figure it out. Like it was just too much. And I knew that on the menu on the thing they had spaghetti and blah blah and they could do it vegan for me. So I just like, okay, it cost me more than it should have, but it was just like a no-brainer, a decent meal. It wasn't just a bagel because I was gonna have a bagel in the morning, figure it out.
Actually, to that point, some restaurants, depending on what the marathon is and where you're at, they might actually have a special menu for runners from the restaurant and the hotel as well. Something to look into.
But that's an option. I mean, that's like, room service is expensive, especially if you're like however swanky the place is. But if you have an option and you need something to eat really quick, think about that too. All right. What is your race travel tip, Aaron?
Get there in one piece. Don't fly Spirit.
Oh, sorry, somebody might be flying Spirit.
No, I'm joking. I don't travel a lot for races, so I don't know if I'm most well equipped to answer this question.
Oh,
but
well, okay, I'm saying, but you've gone to Chicago is going to be much easier than traveling to like Eugene for a race.
Yeah, for sure.
You've been to Indy, you've done
Florida.
I guess my travel tip would be find a race that you can drive to.
Oh yeah, that's true though, because I did honestly. I mean, that's like kind of funny, but it's like that's actually great because you got it's easier. Like I drove to Erie, and it was perfect because you could just
don't got to worry about. Oh, I don't know if I can pack this in my carry. You don't got to worry about none of that. You just put it in the back of the car. You can bring your whole wardrobe. You got options.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, that's a vibe for sure.
But I did get a speeding ticket on my way to Indy, so drive the speed limit. That's my travel tip.
Yeah.
Especially in Ohio.
Yes, for sure.
So you were just ready for your PR. That's all.
Yeah, I was just preparing. I was preparing to go fast.
He's doing his calf raises in the car.
Yeah. That's what you told the officer. Why were you going so fast? I was just trying to get ready for my race, officer. Just doing some calf extensions.
Like I gotta shake out here soon. I gotta get ready. I gotta get out the car and go.
Gary, what's your
Mine kind of goes along with what Allison put in the questions here. Is save the sightseeing for after the race. If you're at a major, try to limit. There's a lot going on before a major. There's pop-ups and shakeout runs and seminars and panels. Limit that as much as you can. Support your friends and whatnot, but really just stay off your feet. I think New York's like the worst in terms of like pre-race events because it's so big. The city is so big. Whereas Boston's actually, quite a small walkable city. But if you can just limit all that kind of stuff, have your family come out like after the race, like they don't want to sit there and watch you. for the marathon. Have them come out after the race, spend a couple of days extra, and for that, even small marathons, especially if it's like Eugene. The first time we went to Eugene, the temptation is to look around and explore the city a little bit, but you really got to like temper that and keep off your feet. So that'd be my big travel tip is to rest them legs.
Yeah, for sure. Because New York, you're right. New York is definitely the worst because it's like all the brands activate and do things in all the different boroughs. So it's a lot of riding the train and Ubers and this and that and walking. Mm-hmm. It's a lot going on. And I'm not like a big like plan like logistics, like plan out the whole weekend of everything I'm gonna do before I get there, unless it's like one or two events I really want to be at or have to be at. But I think it would take, if you really want to, like if you're going to Boston, you're like, or Berlin or whoever, and you're like, I want to experience this, but I don't want to overtax myself. Maybe spend that extra time before to be like, okay, each day, these places are the ones I'm going to. And then like kind of plan out your day based on that. So like you can like, because even with Boston, if you just go into whatever, Newbury Street, and you're just like finding out what's happening in the event, you'll walk back and forth. You'll probably walk 6 miles back and forth in the same few blocks if you just stay over there. Plan out your day, kind of like say, I'm gonna hit these few things and then I'm out, and draw hard boundaries around like getting back to your hotel and getting some sleep, because you don't want to be at mile like anything and be thinking like, did I walk too much, or did I get enough sleep this week? Like just take care of your race. Have fun though, because Lord knows we don't want to go any like all these cool places and not see anything. So have some fun, but just like try to balance whether like how important is that sleep for you in the race day thing. My tip would be take all the snacks. I think, did Allison say that too? Somebody said that.
She said, Allison also said, take the snacks that you're used to.
Yeah. So I went to, which is funny because I didn't put the stuff up yet. I went to the store and got some peanut butter, Pop-Tarts, and bagels, because like if I was going somewhere, if I was going to Chicago, I probably wouldn't really worry about that because this would be easy to find a place. But if you're going overseas to somewhere, like you're just kind of unfamiliar and it may be in a different language, you got to take like the stuff for sure, like that it sits right with you or you can eat. And if you have any dietary restrictions, like you want to make sure you have a few things that you can snack on. So like what?
You might want to go on to TSA's website and make sure that peanut butter is allowed in your carry-on.
Yeah, I've done it before.
Okay. Some days
it's not gonna be in my carry-on.
Some days you take your laptop out. Some days you don't. Some days peanut butter is a liquid.
No,
some days it's not.
No, I'm not gonna be taking carry-on. I'm not gonna take it on the carry-on, Gary. I'm gonna check the bag.
All right.
I mean, what are you thinking?
I'm really judging your choice of peanut butter, brother. You still on Jif?
Okay.
Yeah.
Bro.
Jif is the only way to go. Sorry.
Yeah. Absolutely. Wait, what do you get? What do you get?
What do you, Peter Pan?
Natural, bro.
Who?
Smucker's Natural, bro.
Yeah. That's like, it must be a
there should be only 2 ingredients in your peanut butter.
Is that the one you have to stir?
Peanut butter. Yes. If your peanut butter comes pre what's the word?
Smoothed out?
Whipped? Yeah. Emulsified. Then no. There's too much nonsense in there, man.
No. Listen.
I'll use natural peanut butter for smoothies only. I'm not putting that on my bread with jelly.
And you got creamy? Come on, man.
Man, listen,
eat chunky peanut butter, bro.
Ingredients, like
far superior.
No, the ingredients are shit. Like the Jif is bad for you, no doubt. But I am not.
Hey, Jif, listen, Jif. If you listening to this, hey, I won't do it for free, but send me a case. We could talk.
Sure. Smucker's Natural,
yeah.
Santa Cruz, fire. Even the Trader Joe's salted, natural, stir needed. That'll get the job done. Jif, that's crazy.
Man, this guy.
Like
bro,
water, bro.
You know what? I was gonna say something. Like as if it was a bad thing. But you know how like you care you care about some of the weirdest things and don't care about others. Like you'll be like, I'm not a bougie traveler. I'll sit in the middle seat for a 70-hour flight, and then you'll be like, but no, I draw the line on peanut butter.
Look,
I draw the line on peanut butter.
Look, I am
dude is a peanut butter snob. I never knew it. That's crazy.
Peanut butter is like half of my diet, bro.
Here's the thing. Since I took meat out of my diet 2 years ago, I have ventured into new foods. You know, I've eaten beans now. I'm eating avocados and all this type of things. I am not changing my peanut butter.
I mean, listen. The ingredients ain't that bad.
Okay.
The ingredients ain't that bad. Listen, roasted peanuts, sugar, contains 2% or less of molasses. 2% or less. I don't know if that's good or bad. Fully hydrated vegetable oils, rapeseed and soybean.
What kind of seed? What'd you say?
Let's not get canceled.
Mono and and salt. It sounds like endurance to me.
Hold on.
Let's say
I'm on your side with this, I swear. But when you go mono and it's good.
I'm just saying I don't know how to pronounce the rest of that.
Monosodium glutamate or whatever.
Mono and diglycerides. It can't be bad.
It's emulsifiers for real to keep it together, to keep it from separating.
I don't even know how to spell that, but I'll take it.
Look, man, peanuts and salt, like George Washington Carver intended, brother. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, now we're getting historian all this stuff.
Why you gotta put vegetable oil in peanut butter if the peanuts already make oil? Something ain't right. Something ain't right. I'm just saying. Sugar was the second and third ingredient because molasses is awesome.
All right, so I don't want to see neither one of y'all, Allison or you or whoever else has a problem with sugar being the second. If you pick up a cupcake or some ice cream, sugar is probably the first ingredient.
But that's because I want sugar. But if I want peanut butter,
sugar.
I want peanut and salt.
Listen. That's crazy. This is crazy. I physically
could not put that on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
What? Listen, guys.
You
want to talk about Pop-Tarts? Is crazy. I'm holding the box of Pop-Tarts. The half the box is ingredients, which is crazy. But it's got dextrose and I'm about to say high fructose corn syrup like it's a good thing.
The thing is, when it comes to those Pop-Tarts, have you tried other Pop-Tarts?
They're all terrible.
They're not good. They're terrible.
You know what, bro? Okay, hold on. Well, let's change subjects, but first let's address this really quick. Allison Staples, I'm saying your whole name because it's necessary in this moment. Says confetti Pop-Tarts serve a purpose. Your everything that you've said in this chat so far is null and void because confetti Pop-Tarts are ridiculous. All right, let's move on.
But the other peanut butter tastes better than Jif. That's really what it is.
When I get back from Berlin, I'll try.
It tastes better.
I'll try. I'll try. I mean, no, I've had other peanut butter, but I just felt like that was right there. And just in case something happens, maybe it gets confiscated, I don't want to have a $10 bottle of peanut butter gone.
That's valid.
So let's start with that. That's why I did it. Not because I like it. How about that?
Choose the eaters, choose Jif. Yeah.
Choose eaters, choose Jif. All right.
That's the tagline for the Instagram tomorrow.
All right, let's do this real quick. Tommy's trip to Boulder. I'm Tommy. I went to Boulder last week, and it was really fun. It was a Boulder trip. It was with Solomon Running. As you see scrolling across the bottom, Solomon had an event where they brought people in, a couple like content creators, writers, different people from the industry. And the coolest thing that I didn't know that they were doing, though, guys, which I thought was a notable mention here. So they did this thing like it was like a customer appreciation like lottery. So they went in their database and like people loyal customers, they put them all in a drawing and picked one person from like 10 different states to come on this trip and be a part of it and have like this experience, like fully paid trip. So I thought that was really dope that a brand would do that for, because like some of the people, you'd meet somebody and they'd follow you or something like that, and you go to their page and they have like 110 followers, which doesn't matter, but that typically that person wouldn't be at an event paid for by a brand for 3 days in Boulder, Colorado, with food and drinks and free clothes and shoes. You know what I'm saying? So I just thought it was really cool that Salomon did that. And I think they do that a lot in Europe. They'll have these big retreats and they'll have a bunch of people from different countries, because the States, we're all, we have how many ever states we have here. We had a bunch of different states. But
we have all the states.
We have all the states. We have many states.
There's
a bunch of them. So, I mean, I'm not saying that, but some people are. That we, even though we're all very different, we still have a very similar culture. But when overseas, when they do these for like their customers, they're getting these people from different countries who have very different. Like, so when you bring all these people together, it's a much more like a bigger like melting pot, when you're dealing with all these people from different cultures and coming from great distances to come to these things. So I just thought that was really cool and a notable mention. But so Salomon's doing a lot of things. They started in we've become aware of them more like the trail scene and mountain climbing scene. But they have the last few years been leaning more into the roads, trying to figure out that whole thing. And from a company based in like Europe, Europeans have a different taste and profile in shoes, and so it's like hard for a lot of brands that are European based to figure out like the US market, in a different way, because like you just can't sell the same shoe there and here. It just doesn't really work like that. So they've done a good job at like innovating slowly and figuring out like how to make this thing happen. So we got to see some of the shoes that they're working on, and we got to run in the shoe that they have now called the DRX Defy Gravel, and they've done a lot of research, and a lot of people, especially in the States, are finding that it's not full trail, but they're finding like more like gravel paths to run on and dirt type of paths to run on. So they've got these shoes that like have very smooth on the road, but they're also double as like those gravel trails, like because we run on gravel trails a lot here too, or dirt roads that are like packed. So it's like it's meant to be able to move a little faster and have some traction on that. So it was really, really dope trip. Thank you so much, Salomon, for having us out or having me out. They definitely want to do some things with PR Project in the future, and we will see them at TRE as well. So big shout out to Salomon. And I got 48 hours of elevation training, and I feel better than I ever have before. It doesn't work like that. Side note. But in my brain, it does.
Narrator in reality.
That's really cool. You got
Maurice said our Pop-Tart's vegan. This one is. Not all Pop-Tarts are vegan.
Yeah, some of them have a little bits of meat in them. It's weird.
Some lamb chop flavored ones, they got meat in them.
Oh
yeah, the hot pockets are not vegan. Those got meat in them. Hot pocket Pop-Tarts. Moving on.
This is Gary's bread and butter right here, guys. All right, get the hot takes out. What do y'all think about the Boston Marathon BQ standards? Just recently, the Boston window for entry closed, and then like the next week, Boston announced that they had a record number. It's 36,000 applications. So that means 36,000 people BQ'd and submit an application.
Yeah.
And then in that same post, you swipe to the next slide, and then it says, by the way, in 2026, so not next year, but 2026, the standards have dropped pretty much 5 minutes across the board. So instead of, if you're 18 to 34, instead of it being 3 hours, it needs to be 2:55, and so on.
Yeah,
and so forth.
And what this does is the timing of this is kind of, I don't know, shady, but it kind of sucks for those who are shooting for some sort of BQ standard for their fall marathons, because we're like weeks away. Folks that run in Berlin, they're literally a week away, and now they have to figure out, well, do I just stick with my training and hope for the best, or do I try to make any adjustments this late in the game? This is the second time since I've been paying attention to this, that they've adjusted the standards right before the fall marathon season was to commence. So I know they have to announce it at some point. I just feel like now, let everybody run their race and then say, hey, I know you guys have run this. By the way, we adjusted the standards. The timing is, you could go back and forth, I think, but I just feel like it's shitty. It's super crappy. This is
the second time. Are you all right?
I swear before.
Yeah, it's okay. Look here. I'm not counting. Go ahead.
Did I really?
No, just go ahead. Keep going. You're rolling. It's live, so I mean, it's too late now.
Live. I just think the timing could have been a little bit better to announce that. Hey, I know you guys are weeks away from a big goal race. Here's one more thing to add to it.
I feel like they could have. I mean, yeah, I think you're right. I think they could have dropped it in the summer. They could have dropped it like a month ago, 2 months ago.
Yeah, they could have dropped it ahead of time and say, be prepared because this is what it's changing to. But
yeah,
if they would have dropped it after fall marathons and people thought they BQ'd and then they said, oh, sorry guys.
Yeah.
It's actually 5 minutes faster. So all of them.
And that's a good point too. I think based on last year's numbers, what was it? What was the buffer? 7?
No, it was 5:26.
5 minutes. But let's say they had a huge buffer last year, and in the way the running boom's working right now, I think you're right, Tommy. They could have anticipated they were going to get a record turnout. I mean, even these like B standard marathons like Detroit, Philadelphia are selling out super early. They could have a month ago said, hey, by the way, in anticipation of what we perceive to be a record turnout, a record application, just a heads up for those training for 2026. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's like, it sucks for the people that were planning on this next race being their moonshot, right? But I mean, essentially it's not like it's only the fall to qualify. I mean, like, you run well in Chicago and it doesn't meet it doesn't meet this new standard. I mean, you do have all the way until next September.
Right. I just think it's
I mean, I'm not saying like that's that easy, but it's not like just so cut and dry. It just seems like to announce we've had a record number of people announce it, and then go same post. Oh, by the way, we're whatever. But like, I kind of like what Mark said. The fact that that they've changed it again. He said he thinks it's a good thing to try to get the time closer to only needing a 2 to 3 minute buffer. It's tough if you have a 5-minute buffer and still don't get in. Yeah, I mean, because I think that's like the problem that it's solving a bunch. Like it's solving two problems for them, I guess. Like the number of applicants will go down, which is a problem if you only can have 30,000 people on the street at one time, running the race. But then a big portion of those are charity bibs, and then another big portion of those are sponsor. Not even another portion of those are sponsor bibs, which is much smaller than the charity bib number. But you can only have like 22,000 people probably get in that are BQs. You have to figure out how to not have it be 36,000 people. Like, I mean, it just can't be that number, and it used to be 250 at one point, and then they raised it up, and then I feel like now they have to come back down a bit. But it is more fair. Like if they do 255, and then next year or for 2026 the buffer is only 30 seconds, that feels much better than running 4.5 minutes, 5 minutes or some change in below, and you ran the race of your life, and you did what you're supposed to do, which is put some good time between you and your cutoff time, and you still don't get in. That's kind of trash. If it's 3-minute buffer after them dropping it down this way, then they just need to figure out how to add more people to the race, just straight up.
Right, because they're going to run into the same. I would assume they have the same problem as they had last year. Record turnout, same standards for 2025 as they have for 2024. I would hope. I have no idea what the buffer would be. I guess
What do you think the buffer would be, Aaron? With this year, 2025, with the way it is.
I think it's going to be bigger than last year.
Yeah,
My guess is it'll be bigger than last year.
I guess it has to be, right? If they're having a record number of people enter.
Yeah.
They didn't say how much they had last year. I mean, if they only had 50 more, it's still a record, but I don't know what the number is. But
I think last year was a record too, though. Was like
no. The year 2023 or 2022 was 7 minutes and some change. Oh no.
No, because they did 2 years in a row.
The double year.
The double zero year.
Yeah, 2 years in a row with everybody got in.
So 2020. So yeah, 2021 was the year it was 7. The year you ran it was 7 minutes and some change.
Yeah,
the small one. Yeah, because they opened up the window. The window was bigger.
Yeah, the window was bigger, but the field was still like cut in half.
Yeah.
Oh, it was cut in half.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope it's nothing. I hope it's not too crazy. I mean, but I guess it has to be since you're talking about record numbers. It's just they're just bracing everybody.
So can I
last year. Right, go ahead. Soapbox, go.
No, go ahead and say what you're going.
I was just gonna read. Mark said last year they had 31,000 entries, had to cut 9,000. This year they had 36,000, have to cut 14,000.
It'll be a lot of disappointed people.
Yeah.
So these views are of mine only. I don't think. No, I'll put that up there.
Okay.
I don't think Gary or Tommy share these views, but I think what Matthew said is an interesting outlook. Do marathon majors have an obligation to meet the demand of the running trends? I think so, because people are paying money to run these races. There are people willing to pay money to run these races. And I think everybody should have an opportunity to run these races. Even people that may not have the physical ability to run in qualifying times, they should have some way to have an opportunity to run these races. And I think a lot of us in the running community put the Boston Marathon on a pedestal because it is a qualifying race and you can only get in through a qualifying time or like some ridiculous charity number. So it has this prestige LVMH model where it's super exclusive and you get to flex that you ran Boston or you qualify for Boston and all of that. And I can respect that from a competitive standpoint with people that want to run competitive times, if you will. But also the Boston Marathon is I wouldn't say a public race because it is a private organization, but they shut the city down. Taxpayers' dollars go towards
cities.
I'm sorry.
Cities.
Right. Multiple municipalities pay taxes to put on these races for them to shut down cities, for them to block off streets, to inconvenience people. So the people are shareholders in this, well, stockholders or shareholders, whatever you want to call them, in this race. So to kind of say, no, you aren't worthy of running this race is not my favorite thing. And I think, me personally, I've taken the Boston Marathon off of the pedestal that I thought it was supposed to be on when I first started running, just because I know as a runner, that doesn't determine my worth. That doesn't determine my qualification as a runner, if I BQ'd or not. So I say that to say there's a million marathons out there. Just because people want to run Boston, just because people make Boston a big deal, doesn't mean it has to matter to you. Doesn't mean that if you never qualify that you didn't get the most out of your running journey or running experience. I don't really like the exclusivity and just the kind of elitist idea of the Boston Marathon. That's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah, no, I think I understand that, and so like I think I share some of that too. Like it's not like I'm just like, because I like what the having to qualify for me. I like the concept of like that I had to try to qualify for the race. I like the fact it made me change, or actually it made me run my first marathon. It's like, how do I get there? You know, how do I qualify for that race? And it wasn't necessarily, I don't think it was like, oh my gosh, like Boston, because I didn't even know enough about anything at that point when I set the goal. I just knew that it was something that you had to meet a standard, and I think maybe I could do that, and that would be really cool, you know. And I knew what Boston as a race meant to like that area, but I didn't know like I didn't know all this, like the big history of it. I just knew Boston bombing because we were out there with, or you know, around living in that area when it happened, and I saw the city rally, all that stuff. So, oh, that'd be cool to go back there, you know. And it definitely like set all this in motion for me, because like if there was no like Boston qualifier, I don't know if I would have. I think I would have probably just ran a few things and maybe just it'd change like the course of like how I ran. But at the same time, I don't feel like if someone if they had to limit spaces or registrations, and it did make a buffer a little more aggressive, not like a ton, you know, but it made it a little more aggressive to then include in some way some people outside of the BQ thing, I wouldn't be upset, you know. And unfortunately, I mean, I'm saying it from a privileged stance, because as I'm getting older and maybe possibly faster, it probably is just easier for me to get into the race. But I just don't like. I don't even know where I stand, but I do know this. I do know that I don't like seeing posts like this and then looking in the comments and seeing people like just trash other people that just run faster thing and just do this, and like people start getting at each other when there's a way that the race itself could sit back and say, either number one, we're never changing, but we as a running community, or as a running organization, we're not about to tolerate this type of stuff going on in our chat, because they have the power to do that and also stand on their standards, right? I do hope that they change something someday to make it more exclusive. What if it would be so sweet if they're like, you know what, we're moving these standards, we're gonna create some space, we just haven't told everybody yet. That'd be amazing if they were like creating space somehow for other people. Because I do think it would be really cool to figure out how to help people that can't raise $15,000 or run this thing.
Yeah,
and I'm kind of in the middle. Like, I just don't like when people say that someone else is like taking from them. I just don't like that. I don't like that part.
No, I'd like to see if they can incorporate. I think we might have talked about this in years past, like some sort of lottery system.
Yeah, I said if they could just. Yeah, I was like, if they could just, and if they could say like, you know what, we're carving 500 spaces out, and then they did a lottery for people outside of the BQ thing, I think that would be great, you know, and that would be amazing. But then they'd also have to do a lottery for the people who did BQ that didn't. I mean, so
I think the logistics on it are for them to figure out. But if they were to do a lottery, I kind of go with hey, listen, you did BQ, congratulations, you hit the standard. You're not within the buffer time, but your name's going to go into a lottery, just to kind of give folks that extra chance, like a second chance, you know, and whatever the number is, 500, 1,000, I don't know, but it's something so people can feel like, you know what, I got a BQ, I'm very proud of that, you know, which you should be. Here's a second chance for you to get in the race. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know, there's tons of different ways to do it though.
But like Mark said, the lottery would be about the same chances of getting into Tokyo and London. But that's why Tokyo and London aren't in this conversation, is because even though the chances are low because they prioritize different things, there's still a chance. You know, like there's people who applied for Tokyo that one time and got in. And same thing with London. It's just there's a chance. There is no chance.
Even New York, I think New York, if you don't get in, this is before they had the new standards.
The 9-1. Because they have a 9-1 thing too.
They have a 9-1, but they also have like a thing where like if you try for like 3 years, you get prioritized. Fourth year you get in, because they're like, okay, you've
it's got to be it got to be something to it. Like it got to be something to it. Like and then real quick, Aaron, I know you're probably about to say something. One thing that T. Davis said, I'm pretty sure they're getting as many participants as possible. If they can only add 100K runners, then nothing there's nothing they can do that's the cap. But I think a lot of the problem, maybe not problem, because I don't live there, so I can't say what I would do if I lived on that street or not. But a lot of it is they are the problem. The part of the problem is they are running through like 7 cities. How many cities is they're running through all these different cities,
6 or 7,
small towns in New England that probably love the race as well or whatever, but at the same time they not about to have or allow in their city or vote against whatever 50,000 runners. Because I think that like the everybody's like, oh, it's really small, but I mean they really could if all the cities rallied around this and were like, yeah, bring it on, like make it a 10-hour day. We don't care. We want everybody to be here and enjoy this. If the city said we are okay with that, because the way that they say it works is like that the police departments or each municipality says, here's the cap of what we're willing to deal with, and this is how long this course can be open for. If everybody decided like, hey, we're okay with more, I bet Boston could be like, all right, we got 50 this year. But the year that they went to 35,000, I can't remember what year it was, the next year they went down to 30,000 runners. And I don't think it was because of participants or applicants. It was because of probably the cities were like, no, we're not doing that again. So I think it's a lot to deal with, but I agree very, very much so with what Aaron's saying too. Like there's got to be a better way or some way to make it slightly more accessible. I'm not saying change the whole thing, blow it all up.
And and again, I having qualified and run the race, so I know I'm in a different position here, but I do agree with Aaron's point of there are a ton of other races out there. Like you don't need to get into all the majors. I mean, there's like what, how many races this far? I mean, alone, like
it's just it's a ridiculous amount of other races to run.
Yeah, and you see people doing them, and they're having a blast. Like these smaller marathons are really, they know it's a running boom, and they're doing all they can to make sure you have a great experience out there. Like again, Detroit, Philadelphia, I've already sold out because I think people are excited to see what these cities are. Especially if they come in for the first time to Detroit or Philadelphia. They're excited to see the city. They're excited to see what the marathon's going to provide. And I know Quad Cities just had one this weekend. It was hit like 2 states and like bridges and tunnels and whatnot themselves. So just all sorts of different opportunities to race fast if that's just what you want to do.
Yeah, and I think just the longer that they have these things, these issues and like this conversation like every year, I just feel like it's gonna. I don't know. It's not gonna hurt the sport of running, but at some point, I would feel like it would hurt. It would just hurt Boston eventually. Like the more and more like this is a problem, and even people that are qualifying saying something needs to change. Like, cause that's the thing. Like people that are qualifying also agree. Like something could be done a little different here. Like this is ridiculous. Like this is kind of crazy. But I mean, I don't know.
Not to continue to drag this out, but Kofuzi had a good post on Threads the other day. He said, imagine 2 runners who run a BQ. One has run Boston 6 times, and the other one has never run it before. Currently, the bib goes to the faster runner, and we never, ever question whether that's the right result. I think we can do better. I think the majors can do better. And I would agree, because I'm not saying like somebody that ran fast and has ran the race a bunch of times doesn't deserve to run again. But if somebody does qualify and they don't, and they get buffered out, and they've never ran it before. If you want to be more inclusive, if you want to get more people into the experience, telling them, oh, you just need to run faster.
Right.
And
open up those opportunities for first timers, like I qualified again. I didn't register, I've done it twice.
So to piggyback that point though, Aaron. So yeah, Kofuzi did have a whole thing, and he got like people are just like at him for it, and he's like, and his thread's going crazy because of it. I'm on a podcast with him called Relay, and we actually recorded a whole thing. He like laid it out, and it's super thoughtful. Like it's less it's more about the BQ the BQ folks, like, because once you go past that like BQ thing, that gets different, and you start talking about changing kind of the structure of the race. But he had some really great thoughts on like how to how Boston could or BAA could go about doing that. So I think that drops like tomorrow or like Tuesday. So I'll share it once it happens. But it was a really good conversation about that. But one of the things I said on that pod was if you the thought that if 36,000 people registered or applied, and then we took the same 36,000 and next year did the same 36,000 people, the same people will get in. Like if you keep doing it and have the same people, because like it's the chances of the same people running over and over and over and over again, and the same people trying getting close, and because you could BQ, you could get a BQ and run a PR 259 this year, and then run your ass off and train like crazy, and then run a 256, and then still not get in. That's crazy. Like it just seemed kind of crazy when you think about just saying run faster. I just feel like there could be something done for the people that actually hit the BQ. That's the part. So yeah, I'm not gonna step on Kafuzi's toes, but check out the other pod when that drops. So, but I think it's a good conversation, and I like hearing Gary too agree like something. It doesn't seem right. Like easy for me to say I give up my spot for somebody else because I would, like especially if I've run it. It's like okay,
That's an idea.
Oh damn, that's an idea.
Kind of cool.
That would be crazy because
that's really crazy.
Yeah. Like, bro, I got a stack. Hey, bro, I'll take a stack for my BQ. But honestly, like, or like hand your BQ back to the BA, and we got a pool of 500. We raffle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that would actually be decent. And that would some people would probably register, or you decide like after you got your thing, like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm gonna kick it back. And then you go to the pool, like you go to the 2 months before the race, like, yeah, he, pulled a hammy or something like that, and or whatever, you know what I mean? Because there's probably people that have registered, got in, got injured, and their spot probably just goes to nothing.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, good. Yeah, I think they're just gonna keep talking about it over and over and over. And then when they announce this cutoff, which doesn't seem like it's gonna be low, it's gonna be more. And then
we'll find out this week too. Like it should be.
Yeah, they said it'll be by the end of this week. So
yeah.
Well, you want to play? You want to play Runners Anonymous just one time? One of them?
Which one?
Which one?
The one that continues the discussion, or the one that
do the one that doesn't continue that discussion, because I think we'll stay there for a minute. We can answer the other one later.
All right.
Yep. Hold on. Go ahead.
Yo, what's good, fellas? I don't know why I don't follow y'all. Yikes. I must be interacting with y'all through my other IG account, Pioneers. But yeah, I just wanted to tell y'all
Flex.
I'm influential in my training this summer. I love that y'all are on the podcast. But I bonked my 20-miler a couple weeks ago, last week, and I was kind of like in my head about it. And then I ran 20 miles this week. But before I did, I listened to your the last episode on like mental, like being mentally prepared. That should help me just like, I don't know. It just like turned that on for me. And, all your feedback about, or all your advice about like not worrying about not being ready now because the race is not now was very helpful. So y'all keep killing it, man. I'm loving it. Appreciate y'all. And the summer speed actually worked because fucking Aaron got a PR, right? Shout out to y'all, man. Have a good one.
All right, that's dope. That was a good one. Yeah, no, I love the fact that like that randomly happened because I don't even know if we meant to talk about like mental, like fitness and all that stuff last that week. But yeah, like it's just it's all stuff that we know, like we already know it. We would tell anybody else, but it's like super hard to like bomb a workout or whatever and then think about those things when it's happening or after.
So, and here's the thing. Bonking a workout could actually be a good thing. I'll compare it to a lot of football fans say they would prefer their quarterback to throw more interceptions if that means that quarterback is taking more risks. That means that quarterback is more confident in what they're doing. So same thing with training. If you just stay in that safe zone and you're knocking out all your workouts and none of them are challenging you and you aren't really having any problems with anything, then you probably aren't getting close enough to that line to really get the adaptations you can get. So bonking one workout over the course of an entire block, it's not a big deal. If anything, it's just showing the ambition that you have to reach for more. So embrace the workouts that don't go well, and then get back to them. And like you said, you went back out and you knocked it out. So that's a positive. You overcame that adversity, and mentally you're stronger from it. So yeah, I'm an advocate for bombing workouts.
For sure too. I mean, it's one thing to get back on the horse for another 20 miler. Like that is
that's
a
crazy.
whole mental reset that that I don't know if this mystery person is listening right now, but that is kudos to you, good sir, ma'am.
Yeah, because I'm coming back with an 8 miler or something. But honestly, like you said though, like if you talk to any pro and they say like if you go, there's no training block that you'll go through without like bombing 1, 2, or 3, or even 4 workouts. Like, because if you are reaching for more, you're reaching for a PR. That means you're in new territories. You are literally like in no man's land at some point, just grasping for like some like form of like comfort in this new like terror like that you're in. And if you're not doing that, and like Aaron said, like if you're you kind of want to be like up against that moment, like because whether we like it or not too, like something Knox said to us when he was here running with us, like almost at any pace the marathon sucks. Like whether if you slow down 30 seconds a mile or a minute a mile, like by the time you get to 22, 23, 24 miles, it's going to be trash regardless. But when you're trying to go to a new place and hit a new PR, it could get sticky quickly, sticky quickly, right? So you need to like prepare yourself for those moments. So like having those moments where the walk of shame back to the car, or whatever it is, because you're mad about this thing, you get to think about all those thoughts that went through your head and those feelings, and kind of like decipher what those mean to you, and like see like, okay, I could have pushed a little more there, or I could have slowed down instead of bonking. I could have slowed down here just to speed up later. You learn from those moments, and then hopefully come back like stronger. And then in race day, when it happens, because it will happen, you can refer to like those moments that you learned and pushed through and kept going. So like anonymous caller, it's like you'll remember that 20 mile you bonked, but you'll also, even better, you'll remember the things you learned from that race, that run, and then the next run after that. Because I think that's all this stuff is about, and that's what life is about too. It's just failing and then figuring it out, and then hopefully when that moment comes again, you're like, oh, okay, we've been here before.
If you're training for a title fight and the first time you get punched in the face is round 1,
is the title fight?
That's probably not the best way to do it.
Probably not.
Way to do it. Shout out to Anthony Johnson.
I mean, yeah, bro. Yeah, we never gonna get into that fight. But yeah. So I think this is a great conversation. We talked about a lot of stuff, and the group, the chat today was on fire. So thank you so much for everybody that's always here tapping in, sharing comments and allowing us to post your comments and speaking very clearly about what you believe in the chat. One of these days, we'll be able to do like a live thing somewhere, and hopefully at least some of our live chat folks will be like there in person. That would be really dope. But I don't know where that came from, but yes.
Go to Brooks Running on Instagram and go check out our 4th member. Alexis had a feature on Brooks Running's Instagram page. She hasn't been with us in the chat for a minute. She's probably been super busy with the opening of the restaurant and everything. So happy for her. Couldn't happen to a better person. Shout out to her.
It might have been like maybe like 2 or 3 like posts ago, maybe.
Yeah, her Instagram is Lex Runs Life.
Lex Runs Life. Go give her a follow for sure. But huge big shout out and collab post with Brooks. And that's big deal. I was like, it was out of left field.
And if you're in the Tacoma area, go check out a restaurant.
Absolutely.
And give it 17 stars if you can.
Yeah.
But all right, y'all. We had this. I think this might be one of the longest shows we've had.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like it was a good conversation, but
Sure.
talk to y'all later. If you guys have any, man, listen, for everybody that's in the chat, let's just if you get annoyed this week or something great happens, or you're like, dang, I have a question, go to our DMs or the PR Project DMs and just leave a voice message. You can be anonymous if you want to, or whatever. You can say your name if it's up to you. But let us know what made you upset. Let us know your question or something, because we like hitting play and hearing people like actual thoughts about some things. We had a couple other ones that were left, so we'll tap into those next week. We'll make sure we do those up front. But yeah, leave us Runners Anonymous as soon as you can.
One more thing before we leave, there's a good chance we're not going to be on next week. Tommy is going to be in Berlin.
Oh yeah.
He's running a marathon. It's the Berlin Marathon, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Tommy's going to go full send. He's going to get after it. So have a great race, Tommy.
What's 8 hours after 8 o'clock?
I was my understanding that there would be no math.
Oh, 4 a.m. So it'd be 4 a.m. I'm straight. Y'all could. We ain't doing it.
See you on the other side, brother.
Peace out, y'all.
All right.
Love you, chat.